So here is a little update on like my weight loss journey. I think last time I was on here I was still taking Wegovy. I'm actually on Zepbound, so this is gonna be a video about that transition from Wegovy to Zepbound. Just a little recap, I got placed on Wegovy by my endocrinologist back in like August of 2023, end of August, like August 20th or something like that. And I was on Wegovy from August 2023 to about literally the last week of January 2025. And in that time, I went from 211 pounds to about 163 to 165 pounds. So I realized like the last few months of Wegovy I was kind of just stalling. I did still notice differences in my appearance. Was really happy about that. However, my weight was just kind of staying in like the 163, 164, 165 range. And so when I met with my endocrinologist, who like had to apologize for like ignoring me and stuff, it was a whole big thing. When I met with her on Monday, January 27th, I have notes now. Like I'm getting hip and like more organized. And so yeah, so when I met with her on Monday, January 27th, she was like, okay, like, are you ready to talk about next steps and like maybe switch to Zepbound? And I told her yes. And I actually had like a really good like honest conversation with her. I was like, I just feel like my body wants to be 163, 165. And she was like, yeah, that could very well be true. She's like, at the end of the day, it's not about weight. It's about how you feel, about like, your energy levels and your overall health. She was like, she really put focus on like not being obsessed with weight. And she's like, from a medical standpoint, you are healthy, your labs are good, you've significantly reduced your, the odds of you having high blood pressure or cholesterol issues or like, any type of health issues. That was like very refreshing to hear. However, I just know that like, I try not to obsess about weight, but it's just hard when you associate a certain look with weight. And I know there's body recomposition and all that stuff. It's just, I know as like a 5'1" or 1.5 person, I like didn't want to be like 163, 165 pounds. And so with that said, she prescribed me Zepbound. She started me off at 5 milligrams instead of the lowest dose because I was on the highest dose of Wegovy. So that's what will most likely happen if you make that transition. If you're already on the maintenance dosing, the highest maintenance dose of Wegovy, you will, your doctor is more likely to put you on like a higher dose of Zepbound if you were to switch. So yeah, January 27th, I met with her, and then I met with my dietitian the next day, and then also that Monday, the January 27th, I took my last dose of Wegovy. She said like, asked her like, how long do I have to wait to start Zepbound? And she was like, oh, if you can get it next week, you can start next week. It just needs like 5 to 7 days in between shots. So I was like, oh, that's cool. And so I met with my dietitian, and she gave me some like very good information. She's very much not with like obsessing about the macros thing. She's like, the only like macros I need to be focused on is protein. She wants me to get 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. And she's like, that's all you need to worry about. Because like, she analyzed my food, and I eat pretty well, pretty healthy. There's like no issues there. I think she actually like is considering discharging me because I'm like pretty good with like the nutrition part. But it is still nice to meet with a dietitian. I like meeting with a licensed professional other than a doctor, because it just like it feels good. It's like accountability. It's like I'm not like really like tracking what I eat or anything. So it's just like, excuse me, it's just like, I don't know, it's good to meet with a professional. And I like sending her messages over my chart and being like, hey, do you think this is a good source of protein? Like, what do you think about this? And it's nice to have that, that resource. I had to get a prior authorization, just like when I initially started with Wegovy. I had to get an initial prior authorization. So like the PA kicked in like 2 days. My insurance approved it, of course, and I am good for 6 months. And then when the 6 months is up, then they have to go in for another PA, submit another PA, and that one will be good for a year. So yeah, I got like my prior authorization process is like very seamless and awesome. And so I started my first dose of 5 milligrams on Zepbound on Monday, February, was it 3rd? And so pretty much with the 5 milligrams, I did that, for a month, and then that was February, and then I went to, I think it was 7.5, and now tomorrow, which will be, let's see, tomorrow, which will be April 14th, a Monday, I will be taking my third shot of 10 milligrams of Zepbound. And so, what was it like transitioning from Wegovy to Zepbound? So like, the appetite suppression is definitely there. It reminds me of like my early days of Wegovy. Like I really, I have to force myself to eat. And so what I've been doing is like I've kind of been getting more creative with the things that I like, because my I noticed this time around my taste buds are very off. Like if I truly do not like something, I cannot eat it. I cannot force myself to eat it. So things need to be well seasoned, and good for me to like feel enthusiastic about it. And so typically what I do for like breakfast is I have a new obsession with like these protein shakes I got from Costco. They're called Nori, and they're like this like vanilla. I get the vanilla flavor. Recently I started making these like muffins that are pretty good that my mother-in-law has. She made for me once, and I like made them today for the first time, and they're very good. And so I try to have like either of those two things in the morning, and maybe like a piece of fruit. And then so lunch, I'll either have like a kale like salad with like some homemade salad dressing. I do homemade salad dressings primarily just because I feel like they're healthier. They're not going to be filled with like all this junk, extra sugar, and all this stuff that are like typically in the store-bought ones. And so along with like lunch, I try to have like things that are gonna keep me interested in eating. If I don't have a salad, I usually do like some like Lunchable type styles, like maybe some crackers, some cheese, some boiled eggs, and like maybe a protein shake to get that protein in. Right now, I am very dependent on protein shakes, just to like make sure I get that 20 to 30 grams of protein, because I do notice a difference when I am getting the 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal that my dietitian wants me to have. Dinner is pretty good. I usually try to have like a veggie, a starch, and a protein. And typically if I'm not able to eat like all the protein on my plate, then I supplement protein with like this protein called Grams protein. That's actually very good. It's a clear protein and it tastes delicious. So far I have the strawberry acai and the peach flavor, and they're both like delicious, very good. And so I'll just have that, just to make sure I get my 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal. So the appetite suppression, yes, it has like reminds me of the earlier days of Wegovy, and so I haven't stalled yet. And so I'll say that when I was on Wegovy in January, it was like my weight was like 165, 163. And now I am, as of like maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, I am down to anywhere from like 154 and 155. So that's pretty awesome. I like broke my stall. As you can see in some of my most recent pictures, I just took those like yesterday. I still like have my stomach, I still have like my little pouch, and I can see a little bit of definition in my abs. It's not much, but I definitely like notice it. I think now I've kind of just like refocused my workout, and so like Mondays are typically like my cardio days, or I do like high intensity I get on a treadmill and I do like high intensity interval training and a mix of hit and like going uphill with like some weights. So like I'll start off doing my maybe like 3 minute warm up, and then I'll bring the what do you call it, the treadmill to about a 10 incline, and then I'll like have like little like 5 pound weights, and I'll do that. Like the speed will be like anywhere from 2.3 to 2.5, and I'll just walk and have my weights like boop boop boop. And I've definitely have noticed like a difference in my body with that. And then I'll do that for like a few minutes, and then I'll do hit for a few minutes, and it'll be a cycle until like 30 minutes. And that's what I usually like I'll do on Monday. And then like Tuesdays I'll split it. Tuesdays are usually like I'll do like half of that. Like I'll do like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes on the treadmill doing that, and then I'll go to like my abs. Like I'll go into my other room and like do some ab work for like the remainder of that time. And then on Wednesdays, might do some Pilates, or might do a little more cardio, and then try to like incorporate some body weight work as long as I'm lifting, because my endocrinologist really put focus on like not doing cardio and not doing cardio so much, and like lifting weights, because lifting weights burns more fat than cardio, and so I try to keep that in mind. And then usually Thursdays is like my leg and my glutes day. Usually by like Friday I'm like shaken and like I can barely move my legs, which is really bad for clinic, because usually like Fridays have been like extremely chaotic. So I'm like, oh guys, I can't move my legs. It usually hurts. It hurts a little bit. But yeah, for leg day, I usually do like an incline for like 5 minutes, and then I go straight to the weights. I usually do 25 minutes of like forget, it's not a leg press, but it's like I forget what it's called. Pardon. I forget what it's called, but it's usually like a it's like you have your legs and you lift the weights like this, but with your legs. And then I do like Bulgarian deadlifts, and like what's the other stuff, just like anything that like it's just like that, anything that like works out the glutes, squats, like works out the glutes and my legs. I am all about it. And so yeah, I stopped like doing 3 days a week. I need to at least work out 4 days a week. Some days I've made it 5, but that is very adventurous for me. I live a very busy life, and so committing to 5 is a little risky, but like 4 days I can definitely do 4 days. And so I've been doing like 4 days for like the past few months since I've been in Zepbound, and it's nice. It's very nice. In terms of like side effects, I remember, and like with Wegovy, what besides the stall, what really made me want to like not be on it anymore is just like my GI issues were just I was just having too many GI issues, and with someone who has like IBS, it's just like it didn't seem like it was worth it. And so I can say with Zepbound I don't have like too many GI issues, like very rare. I just have to be very careful, because I've noticed that I can actually get a little bit of constipation, just like a tiny bit, if I like just a tiny bit. It's like maybe once a week I get like the constipation, and maybe like I take my shot on Monday nights, so sometimes like Tuesday mornings I do feel a little nauseous, but I still have my Zofran for that. Other than that, I don't really have any issues with like any like side effects from Zepbound. If you ask me, I think it's like honestly 10 times better than Wegovy was. I feel like in the very beginning stages of Wegovy, I suffered like a good amount, and so with the side effects, and now I'm like feeling pretty good. Ooh, I will say like sometimes I am sleepy, like Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I'm just like really tired, and so like for my hour break, I just like sit down in a chair like in one of like the lobbies of my job and just like fall asleep. I put on my noise canceling headphones and I just like fall asleep. And because I'm just like, I'm so tired, and my clinic is just like so busy that I'm just like, oh my god, I'm overstimulated in every way possible. But yeah, so yeah, so far it has been good. You know, I'm trying not to focus too much on weight because I think I look awesome. Especially like if you watch some of my older YouTube videos, there's such a big difference. Like even in like my before and after photos, like this is so different. And of course I'm not you know, ultimately where I want to be right now, but I am definitely at a place where I'm like, all right, I feel good. I'm very proud of myself. I'm very happy with myself. I love that I'm pushing myself. This is good. And so yeah, you know, I might do another video just to like let you guys know how it's going. But yeah, making that switch from Wegovy to Zepbound has been pretty good so far. I can't wait to see, you know, what I look like in like a few months. And yeah, so yeah, that's it. If you guys have like any questions or anything, what this transition has been like, let me know and I will share. Until then, see you guys.